Coming up on Call The Midwife After Show, Vi vies for a seat on the Borough Council. There's much ado with the Ado family, and Lucille suffers at the impertinence of a suffragette. All that and more in just a minute.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Okay, welcome everybody. Thank you again for joining us. It's called Midwife Series Season 8, Episode 2. I'm John Comerford, joined in the studio by Tamara Berg.
Hi, everybody.
And today marks the return of our commandingly coherent cohort, Courtney Stewart.
Yeah. Hello, everybody.
Welcome. Glad to have you back.
Sorry I missed it.
Yes. All right. So we were just talking earlier.
Nice intro, John. P.S. Thanks
so
for
impressive.
that.
It's a lot of
As
alliteration.
always.
We were talking about how they get us to cry every time, and I figured how you have to carbo load for like a long run. I have to drink a lot of water before I watch these things to actually.
Yeah, and always have the Kleenexes handy.
Yes,
for
exactly.
sure.
And this week did it with me because Miss Milgrove, I should say. She's not married, which I thought was very interesting. And we don't. Of course, we don't know till way late, who she is, what her history is. I was but the fact that she's where she is and where we find her, and Lucille meets with her, and I mean, I'm already gone because of her.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, yeah, and I just and what she lives in, and I'm already going, oh no, and I feel like Lucille. Yeah, go ahead.
She's
Tamara.
so the actress is named Annette Crosby, and she was not well known to me, but she is well known to
Yes.
our British viewers. Were you familiar with her?
I am familiar with.
Okay, so she's on a show called One Foot in the Grave, and people
right.
were just, kind of in the way that I was about Miriam Margolyes
Right.
with the last two episodes. People were just like so excited that she was going to be on, and then of course she gave us this
Yeah.
unbelievable
Tremendous
performance. Yeah.
Yes.
So starting off with the little scamp.
Yes, exactly.
Coming
Maureen.
in with Maureen and her little imp. I love that she was smiling at everything through to the end because she had
The
stuff
whole
to
time.
smile about.
Yeah.
But the little key,
Nice trick.
Nice,
Cute.
Nice trick.
Don't say that I'm doing it for sweetness and light, and don't tell my mom I'm getting money,
Money
for
for
it. She'll
it.
be mad.
Such an operator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was nice to see.
But for the common good.
And you, of course, they did a nice job of setting it up because you have no idea what's inside there, what we're going to find. But you get a hint of it when the neighbor comes out and says,
They say
There's
the
rodents.
foreigners are the ones who are dirty.
says it to Lucille too.
No offense.
No
yeah,
offense.
yeah, exactly.
No
Yeah,
offense.
okay, ouch.
None taken. I think.
Right.
So, but I thought that was great because I had no idea what we were going to find except for the fact that apparently there's rats
in
and
the
filth
floorboards.
exactly.
And
So it's like,
mold.
oh, this is not going to be pretty,
Yeah.
and it wasn't. And I thought the shape of the house would be bad enough because of all the hoarding going on.
Right.
And then I was not ready for the ulcer.
Ulcer.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
was that?
I know what.
I had a whole conversation in my head about, now, I don't know, maybe it's common.
We
but
don't know enough about. We didn't do enough homework on this. But go
No,
ahead.
I didn't have time to do everything today. I did other things. But why is it always a grody, disgusting leg ulcer?
I honestly think
that-
it's just because it's easiest to shoot. It's where else.
I guess that's true.
Yeah.
But I mean, we see births all the time on
Yeah.
the show, but the ulcer had to be the most repulsive, like disgusting, like.
And we
it
saw
was
more than one
awful.
because that other woman in the house.
Well, and it shows up a lot. So
surgery,
that's what
yeah.
made me think it must be a common thing
Yeah, maybe it
with
was,
elder
yeah,
people.
it's-
Or as you said, maybe they play a lot of football and
Yeah,
they're
that's
football
Surgery
injuries.
kit. Yeah, that's what it is.
happening?
Old football injuries, and
Yeah.
and because Mr. Adu was playing with the lads.
that's
He was.
true.
So,
That's
all
true.
right,
He was.
So we don't know if that's a common thing. Maybe our secret agents and spies out there
Let
can
us
help us
know.
out because we
y'all
didn't
over
do
there
our
getting
homework.
ulcers on your legs on a regular. Like, how is this?
Is that a thing?
Is that a
Is that a
thing?
thing in '64? I mean, I don't know.
Times
So,
were changing.
but it is weird though because the birth sites. But that I was very
It was-
confused. Like,
yeah.
oh, don't do that. Don't do that.
It was
Don't
pretty
do that.
graphic
Yeah,
for
it was.
Call the
That was
Midwife,
nice,
I
yeah.
will say.
Yeah, it just yeah. But didn't you react like that? I mean,
For
I was
sure.
like, oh man, no,
Yeah.
I'm not ready for that.
I was more disturbed. The crazy part is when she's so meticulously holding the cotton
Gauze.
ball
Yeah.
or gauze, and
Yeah.
she had the tweezers and
Yeah.
she's like putting
Yeah.
it, and I was so more grossed out by all. And I usually don't get that squeamish about
Neither do I.
medical things on anything.
It was a
Yeah.
particularly textured ulcer this
yeah.
week, I would say.
Well, also, and I don't know about you, Courtney, but for me, it was because it was a woman who's elderly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
that
then
probably didn't. And then it was also a
it was
mess
was
around
me,
her.
exactly.
Yeah,
I
all
wouldn't have
felt
cared if it was on me.
unclean.
Yeah, that's
fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, so
An image I will never forget.
exactly, it's like, and of all the births we've seen, that's the thing we're
Right?
squeamish
That's
about.
what's gonna remember.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, so we learn, of course, that she's living in this thing. They're trying to help her out, and they talk about if she isn't going to take care of this, then the welfare state's going to step in, and they're going to, and she's Lucille's required to.
Yep.
And I go, oh yeah, okay. And then I just thought, can we go right to the scene with the welfare agent? There is.
No,
wait, we have to talk
we have
when
lots
Monica
to do
Joan
before
came.
then.
All
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
okay.
Monica Joan. So also we find out that she was a volunteer ambulance driver in Serbia.
Yeah.
Yes.
On the Eastern Front.
Yeah. Conversation between her and Lucille, Miss Milgrove and
Sure.
Lucille about for every problem there is a solution,
Solution,
That's
right?
Yes, that's what Lucille
We
says.
discover that she's got lots of books. Lucille mentions that to Monica Joan, who is
super excited.
Very, yeah.
But not excited to organize it according to the Dewey Decimal System.
Because why would you?
Because why would you do that?
she has her own system.
Of course, yeah,
Yes,
that
she
nobody
does.
else would understand. Absolutely.
But yeah, if the chaos is not addressed, you'll have to go to a home. And they talk about Sister Monica Joan comes over,
Right.
and they have a meeting of the minds.
Oh boy, not just a meeting.
We
of the
are-
minds,
what was
yeah.
it again?
It's simpatico.
Simpatico.
Simpatico,
Yeah.
And then,
And simpatico about everything, even rhubarb,
Right.
with a little sugar and a sprinkle of salt. Now wait a minute, I draw the line at salt. It seemed like with Monica Joan.
Oh well, yeah, Monica Joan wouldn't. Yeah, but
now hang on a minute with the
but
salt.
she's got a translation by Pope of the Iliad, so there you go. And that's the
Woo.
thing that sends
That was-
Miss Milgrove
Yes.
up for the job.
Sheer glee.
Yes. Yes.
That was the best
Okay.
The
interaction.
right, right?
She was so elated. It was great. She's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, it was
And
fantastic.
then, it was also, it harkened back to the times that Monica Joan has gotten elated.
I know.
And
Yes.
she done almost the exact
Like
same
a
thing.
schoolgirl.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was, I thought that was a great little twist,
Yeah.
turn
Beautiful.
on that. So
It was
yeah,
cute.
It
Beautiful.
was adorable.
Very
So,
cute.
but we can see that Monica Joan is obviously sees a reflection of herself in this, and that here's a woman of substance. We also get that to state
yeah.
in her. She talked about that, about how they're going to come in and take her away without her own choice about it. This is not her own volition. And she says that whole thing about a woman of substance shouldn't be treated this way.
Right.
Yeah, so we got that laid in there, so it was good. All right, but because she doesn't do what she needs to and clean up, they have to bring in the welfare.
Yeah.
Because she fell too.
She fell.
Well,
fell.
that's true. Yeah, that's
That
true.
was
That's
like the
right.
turning point.
Yeah.
It seems to me. Yeah.
She found she couldn't get up, and that's how Lucille found her.
Cold on the floor.
On the floor all
Yeah,
night.
and again, it was like, Joe, don't do that. I can't
Terrible.
watch those things.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't watch those things.
Nope.
Yeah, show me the war. Show me all kinds of people getting dismembered.
Exactly.
I can. Don't show me an old lady stuck on the floor. I can't do that. I
know.
can't do that. So, all right. So when the welfare lady comes in, we discover there's a hidden stash. Shall we say? Maybe the cause for the moldiness and the rats or whatever.
And lots of other things.
Yes, exactly. But what talk about someone who knows her job. She
Yeah.
knows exactly where to start looking. The welfare agent. Yeah.
So sad
That
because
was fun.
she knows that
That's-
that's where it would be, which
well,
means
yeah.
it's happened multiple times.
Of course,
before,
yeah.
and the
Patient.
poor
Exactly.
people.
Got to find
Jeez.
where people hid their business.
And the fireplace
Yeah.
chimney.
Yeah. So and she wasn't using. She had a little space heater too, so she wasn't even using that. So I don't even. Ugh. All right. So.
I just like, how does it stay up there? Like,
well,
how did
yeah,
it
you had
start?
Yeah, you were thinking of the mechanisms, like how do they? Because
So,
it's
like,
a
if you
damper
put
there, the
first
flue.
one,
you throw it
then
in
wouldn't
the-
it fall? Like if you have a
Exactly.
whole pile in
Right.
one, like
and
how do you
get
that?
how do you get the second one? Because if you pray, you
And
got to
then it's
open
like,
the.
and then the paper
Yeah.
never like.
Yeah.
I move that we go on to the next topic. Because there's more interesting things about this story.
True, but I was
Okay.
fascinated by
Yeah.
that.
I was too, of
Grossly.
course.
Yeah.
But
Tammy
yes.
was fascinated about a nanosecond,
And then
Courtney
and
and
then
I
went
go,
into
how does
Like, how
that?
does it stay?
Yeah,
No.
exactly.
No birds got in there.
So they've decided she's going to be moved to a home.
Right.
Yes.
Lucille is clearly very involved with her. There are
Right.
conversations going on. Sister Julianne is saying, you're more involved than you need to be.
Right.
Yeah.
And she
We're
says,
nurses. We need to, in order to take care of others, we need to take care of ourselves.
Yep.
and also Lucille is, I just forgot what I was going to say. Don't matter.
I interrupted you. I beg your
It's
pardon.
okay. Fine. She's saying, she's kind of what was the word, like insolent or something, impertinent. But I've grown to
Yeah,
like,
she appreciates. Well, because
find
they,
pleasure.
well, they
in her,
both they share that
enjoy her.
moment. Ms. Milgrove calls Lucille impertinent. She says
She responds right back.
like, "Yeah, you're."
So are you.
So are you.
Takes
With
one to
all
know
due
one.
respect.
Exactly. And then we find out later that they have something else in common at the end.
Right.
Which is so we'll talk about that when we get to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they obviously share something. She sees something in her, something about the spirit that she has, the indomitable spirit, all that kind of stuff, the fighter that she is. I think Lucille sees all that. I think she responds to that. I mean, isn't that what you guys
For sure.
garnered with that?
For sure. You want her to be strong and be able to be in her home and be okay. And even if you can't, you
Yeah.
gotta send her away.
So
Because Julianne makes that great argument. Look, she can't take care of herself.
Yeah.
She can't. It's our job to do it.
right.
Yeah.
So, and that's where Monica Joan gets all. Yeah, and that's one makes one of those great scenes where they're all her great arguments and going, yeah, well, yeah, no, oh, yeah, that's a good,
That's true,
that's
that's
right,
true,
so,
that's
yeah,
true.
so yeah, they're just making really strong. That's great drama.
Yeah, and it just harkened back to the one of the themes they were talking about is how the town was changing and
Yeah.
people's families and not having family. And she obviously didn't have anyone that would be
Right.
able to be there to take care of her. And that's
And they're
why the
also
home was
talking about how
necessary.
medicine was, improving, advancing. Sometimes there are answers and all this
Yeah.
other stuff, which harkens back to both of the storylines they got. But what answer does medicine have for this? There is no real answer
Nothing.
for that.
We're
So-
gonna get old.
Yeah, yeah, but so I like when we get back to it and we have the cops called out, but or not the cops yet. First, we just had them come out to get her because they were going to take her, and it was Monica Joan that makes the impassioned plea to Lucille, don't have her go alone. Make sure she goes of her own choice. That it's her choice, a woman of that kind of substance.
Right.
So she says that she'll go. And when she gets there, she's she's decided that she's
She
not
ain't going
exactly
without a
when
fight.
because she Lucille's in there and she says, I'll be out myself.
I just want to spend a few minutes with my things
Yes,
before
my
I
things,
leave.
exactly. I thought that was a nice, lovely scene just before that because
Between the two of them,
Yeah, because
yes.
they kind of had come to some sort of understanding and stuff like that.
You're like, oh, it's gonna work out.
Yeah,
It's gonna
exactly.
be okay.
But okay,
It's
but did you guys?
fine.
Because I saw this when I watched it the second time. If you look at her face, I forgot the name of the actress that you just said, who plays Miss Milgrove, but she says, I just want to.
Annette Crosby.
Yeah, thank you. Have a moment with my things. If you look at her face again, there's just this little thing in her eye. Yeah, it's
twinkle.
like, yeah,
Little
that's not
twinkle.
gonna happen. You know
No.
something's up. So she just gave which was great.
Yep.
Yeah, and then she decides to barricade herself.
I know. But she was very agile getting to that door and
That's
getting it shut
right.
before Lucille could get in.
Not only that,
Like,
she had plenty of
suddenly
ammo.
you were
She
able.
had figured this out.
All
She
the
had plotted
ammo.
exactly. She had
Yep.
plotted. Yeah, so
She
all
was ready.
that business came in handy.
Yep.
So then the next scene, we discover the story.
Right.
So the midwives are in the,
Right.
whatever it is, the room where they prep their
Yeah.
bags
Bags.
and things like that, and having the conversation. We hear about the fact that Miss Milgrove was a suffragette, and Phyllis starts talking about her aunt who was
Right.
a suffragette.
And because of the medal, and they both served. Miss Milgrove won the medal, and then she starts. Phil starts talking about her was it aunt
aunt.
who
had gone on
apparently
a
had
hunger strike.
as
Hunger
well,
strike medal.
hunger strike
And was
back in-
fed by force.
Fed by force, which I had heard of. I hadn't really. Obviously, we heard a lot more about it from a personal point of view.
Right.
And that was just unnerving.
Yes.
Yeah, and I thought it was great because, especially the way they did the whole thing. Lucille, there's Vi's running for office. Lucille doesn't think she's been popular long enough to deserve a vote.
Right.
And here's a person who's suffered through so much and given so much and endured so much just to have the opportunity to vote.
Yep.
And so I thought that was great. So
It was wonderful. And still so relevant.
Yeah.
Wait, what are you talking
How
about?
did that happen?
And connecting to no wonder she finds comfort in plenty.
Right.
Is what they
yeah,
said.
because she's been deprived of so much.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
And her monologue discussed, like, talking about the
That's what I
process
mean,
of
yeah.
hunger and how that felt. And when
the-
you get
the
to a place
pangs.
of peace and you're like, oh, I can do this. And they force feed you and you go through it all over.
and the-
I was like, I never thought about it. Like,
Right. And
wow.
the way she said it, it was like they were waiting for that moment when you've endured weeks of not eating and just water. And finally the hunger pangs go away and the sleeplessness and the headaches and all that other stuff. And you get to a point of surrender, which speaks to the overall arching theme. Sometimes surrender is the most courageous thing we could do. That's when they feed you again. It's like they were waiting for that time just so that you could endure it all over again.
Which is just barbarically cruel.
They call it an abomination. That's
Yeah,
what she
for
said. That's the
sure.
word she used. My God, it was.
Yeah.
Ugh. But I did like that we got the cops out there in the Attica.
Yes, we did.
Viva la revolution!
Monica Joan.
That's right. Exactly. That was so funny.
Girl
and then
power.
I also thought it was. I didn't know this about their order that they couldn't even protest at all, according to her vows. Not even the
They're not
littlest of
allowed. Yeah.
protests. It was like, oh, I didn't even think about that.
Me either. Had no idea.
Yeah, and the fact that she, even though she felt so strongly about it, her vows obviously took precedent, and of course they left to Lucille to step up, do something.
Block the door.
That's right. Do your worst.
Standing right in the
That's
door.
right.
Here,
Yeah, you're right.
this is literally where I take my stand.
Very active suffragette.
Yes,
that kind
that's
of thing.
right.
So and then gets pulled in. You have a good arm.
She's like, you're going to fight for me.
Mrs. Milgrove, she's got all her ammo, her tin cans, everything ready to go. Yeah, that's just not going to happen. So and then the conversations that she has with her after that too.
With Lucille?
Yeah, just the little ones, just the one-liners, like Miss Milgrove talking about what's to happen of my things, and what's to happen of me, where am I going to go, and that's just ripping my heart out. And I did like that they took a moment for Lucille to say that it reminds her of when she first came here, and when the unknown for her, and
Fear and all of that. Yeah.
So,
Whew.
and then when
She emerged.
yes, when she emerged, and
In her suit.
exactly,
And her medal pinned on.
and it was a green suit.
Which we'll talk about later.
Yes, it's a green suit. So there's and then of course Fred is helping her
Helping her
in and that little quip there about him. You were probably
Top of
doing
class.
better than I in your day. Don't patronize.
Don't
me.
patronize
you can see
me.
she's still got fire in her and everything,
Yep.
which is great. But the look in her face when they were closing the door.
Yep.
In the
to
ambulance
vehicle.
or the
to the vehicle.
van, yeah.
Exactly, and it just was again, it was just, oh my God. Yeah, she didn't have to do much to get me. I don't know, did you guys even...
I was already done when she walked out in her suit and refused to take the wheelchair.
Yeah,
and
that's
like,
true.
you've got your dignity and they're going to take you and I know you're going to die because that's what happens. I knew she was going to die. So yeah,
Yep.
it was hard.
So, but they wrap it up nicely. I mean, I haven't seen a much
Nicely.
better wrap up. I mean, my God, that was great.
Well,
They start with the rhubarb, just the rhubarb.
Right.
Right. She takes, she buys the rhubarb. That's a nice little callback. She goes there and she looks so. I mean, I think of the difference between the home she was living in and the home that she ended up dying in, and the stark contrast. And there she looked so peaceful, and she looked. I mean, the fight was over.
Except she was alone.
Well,
I'm like,
yeah.
they couldn't have held her on long enough for
Yeah.
Lucille to give her the rhubarb and have her hold her hand and pass away.
No.
No,
No.
no, because this is more poignant and painful
exactly.
for you.
They want me to hurt.
It's all for you.
It's all for me to feel pain.
And then-
yeah.
Right. So then the next scene with Monica
Yeah.
Joan and Lucille sitting in the garden,
Yeah.
talking. Was it my fault?
Yeah, I thought that was
Yeah.
great. Was it her fault? Because, yeah.
You pretty much have to go there.
But but there's nothing she could do about it. I mean, if she didn't do it, who knows what she would have died.
Right.
I mean, there's all kinds of koala
Right.
At
to
least
deal with.
She died with her dignity in a clean bed.
In a clean bed, right? I mean, that may have not have been her choice, but
Well, ultimately it was because she did finally
choose to
come
die.
That's
out,
true.
but,
That's true.
Yeah.
And I think I think the most important line was, "This is no longer your home; it's a prison." And being who
That
she
was- I
was,
forgot about that,
and having to deal with the suffragette and where what she had dealt with, she realized I just transferred one prison to another.
right,
So I think
right.
that was the thing that allowed her. And then she said that line, "Will I be able to eat the food there?"
Yeah.
And I'm going, "Oh my God!"
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Louise Ironside writes this
Yeah.
stuff.
You don't need to go hungry.
Yeah,
Don't need to go hungry anymore.
Okay, so then at the end, when they get the things, Monica Joan gets the book of Robert Louis Stevenson.
Yep.
Yeah, because there's
very
not
exciting.
enough Robert Louis
Never
Stevenson.
can be
Never
enough.
can be enough.
Never
too much.
And then of course,
Lucille gets the
bag.
medal.
But the kicker for me is
Oh my God, so out of the blue.
I was not
And,
expecting
like,
this one
the
at all.
Perfect Call
Yeah.
The Midwife. Because,
Right.
you've ripped our hearts out.
exactly.
We are blubbering messes on the floor, like half a box of Kleenex. And then we get Maureen, who very poignantly opens the book, and it's the Iliad. And, sweet little Maureen. And then it's got a bunch of money in
Got
there.
tenors.
And I was just giggling.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, tenors everywhere. I just loved it. Yeah.
And she just closes it with that
I do
impish grin
not-
on her
yeah,
face.
I've
Tucks
read
it in
the-
her
Tucks it
like,
in.
I'm never
Exactly.
giving.
It's just a book. That's all I got, Mom. Just a book.
I've never read. I mean, I have read the Iliad. I've never seen tenors in it. I've just
No.
never. Is it?
Yeah.
I think it's an English thing,
yeah,
John.
well, that's one hell of a translation.
For sure. I
So,
would have preferred that one. Yeah.
From drachmas to tenors. All right, so that was great. And then of course at the end we see obviously it's that lesson has taken root because Lucille's decided
She's voting.
She's voting,
And she's wearing the pin.
she's wearing the pin, she's wearing
the green.
and she's got the hair.
All right. So she has things in her hair. So the colors for the suffragettes were purple for, hold one moment, purple for loyalty and dignity, white for purity, and green for hope. So, no, anybody watching? I got on the colors
Yeah, there you go,
today. I
Tamara.
was very
In
specific with
acknowledgement
my
of that, yes.
choices today. So, she had the green suit on for hope.
Right. And
I
she
like
had-
that they stressed hope because it was a
It's a
green,
wonderful,
it was
yeah.
the
Yeah.
green suit that had the theme through it, and then in
Milgrove
her
had the
hair,
purple, right.
Lucille had the purple and the
Purple there.
green.
So an acknowledgement of that, which I thought was a nice nod to it without us even knowing. that
So
was
well
great.
done.
Yeah.
Just to give a little shout out. So Emmeline Pethnick Lawrence is the person who designed the suffragists' colors in 1908, and she was the co-editor of the Women's Social and Political Union. They had a newspaper and all that. Stuff too.
Awesome.
Okay.
Well done. Well done.
Just one more thing about that storyline. I really loved the connection between Miss Milgrove and Monica Joan, and just how that just kept on continuing. Also with the death,
Right.
this hanging specter of death over Monica Joan, and
Right.
my home and where am I going to be, and we saw that last episode, and continuing that
Damocles.
theme. Yeah, it
But
is.
that she,
It
at
is.
least in this one, she seemed the most peaceful about all of it when she was talking about there's friends always all
Yeah,
around,
that's-
and I forget all that she
That
was
you may
saying in
not
that
have
moment
met
that you may not have
at the
met
You have to
yet
have
and
the
all of
eyes
that.
to see them.
And just that she wouldn't be alone in her space because she
Right.
had her sisters and she
Right.
has her family.
And
so she seems
going on both those, that's what I thought was great, that they made the connection between those two generations, between Monica Joan and Miss Milgrove and Miss Milgrove, Milgrove, and Lucille. So there
Yes.
are friends
Yeah.
all around if we have eyes to see them.
Yes.
for sure.
Yes.
Well, speaking of friends all around, we got lots of friends that listen to us every week, and we want to thank you guys so much for listening to us over here at AfterBuzz TV and making us the ESPN of talk. And we would like to ask you, along with continuing to watch us and enjoy us, to make sure you're commenting, make sure you click that subscribe button, the little red button that you see right below the video, because we need to build up our subscribers, and it helps us to continue to bring the most amazing content that you're getting right now, and you get to see our beautiful faces. So make sure you guys subscribe on YouTube, but check us out on iTunes. You can download us and you can listen to us in the car, on your phones, all the time, anytime you need us. Make sure you're interacting. And we love Twitter as well, so you guys can tweet
we
us
do.
and share our information. And we know you guys love talking about Call The Midwife and all the other shows we have available. So make sure you check them out and just interact, because we love social interaction, and you keep making us better and helping us to grow.
Yes.
So thank you guys.
Thank you.
All right, we got to talk about the Ado family, because that was another one. I was like, oh man, we haven't dealt with this yet. So
I was like, thank you, Lord, they did not kill that little boy. I
Oh no.
was sitting like, if you kill him.
I was worried they were going to kill the mom during the birth. I thought Dad was going to die.
Everybody was
I
gonna
thought
die
I
at
was
some
worried
point.
who was gonna die, and
Exactly.
then when it was a lot. It
Yeah,
was,
because I was like, please don't. No, I just don't.
So
can't do
just
it.
the first shot of them with the three of them having their
Applying to
picture
be- right.
taken, applying to
To be
become citizens.
yeah.
was just so gorgeous. And that kid,
Yeah, you like that kid a lot.
So sweet.
Matthew,
Because-
his smile was
It was a smile.
ridiculous. Ridiculous, that smile. I
In
mean,
that clinic when he saw Phyllis or Phyllis caught his eye and he
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
Oh my God! Every time. I mean, when he was rubbing his forehead. On his
stop
baby
it.
Sister, yeah.
the new baby,
Yeah.
he's
kissing
kissing the new baby and then rubs his
Well,
forehead.
who's coaching the kid, or is
I
he just
don't know. He's
amazing?
just
God's
brilliant.
sake,
Yeah.
I'm going to eat him
Yeah.
if they don't.
Because they reminded you of your nephew. That's right. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, they were great.
Can't fault me on that.
No, I can't. And they again. How was the setup there? They were just talking. Everybody. Well, she's anemia and stuff like that. And I think that we don't really get a hint of what's going. They did a nice job. All we know is that the boy's not in school because of his growing pains. It's like growing pains. Is that like ulcers is happening?
No,
a
it's
lot?
not growing pains.
We know
We
it's
knew
not.
it wasn't growing pains.
But
Pretty quick though. So when did you catch it? Well, you caught on when I told you. With what's wrong with her, because they were
Yeah.
saying the iron pills. He feeds me brown beer, right?
and
Brown beer and liver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're not working. And I was like, oh no!
No.
I know what she's got.
Yeah.
Did you know pretty early on?
Pretty much. Because as soon as I knew that the boy was having pains and then she was saying that she was eating and it wasn't helping with the iron pills, I was like, they really going to bring sickle cell up in here right now?
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
And they did. And they did.
But I thought it was okay. So we had the birth there, and Sister Hilda needs a
She needs a
co-captain.
second.
She needs a
Sister Hilda ordering people around.
Sister Hilda, no, you'd be nice to support. You want to carry my bag? Would you like to pedal my bicycle for me
There'll be a lot
too?
of little things for you to do.
And Trixie, like, all righty,
Girl.
let's see how this goes.
Yeah. Talk about growing pains. Because we get a little
yeah.
problem. That was
Where
nice.
does a sister get such attitude?
Yeah,
like,
well-
where did that come from?
well,
Isn't
they-
humility and stuff a part of
I know,
their
right?
situation? I was like, where did this fraud come from?
One would think.
Well, they talked about everything in the last episode. They talked about all she's done and how where she's gone and stuff like that.
All Hilda's
right?
done?
Yeah. So
Oh.
I don't know. Yeah, there was just a big old assumption.
Isn't
and
pride a sin or something?
I've heard something like that. I'm not sure.
I mean, I don't
She
know.
said.
But
Yeah.
maybe.
But she quickly, well, it didn't last long. Let's put it that way. It was nice. But
No, yes.
She handled it fairly well and stuff. But I thought that right there, because when she gave birth, everything was fine. Baby girl, everybody's happy. And and then it's like, ooh, that's not good.
This is not going well.
Yeah, and and then Trixie takes over and starts. I don't know what the heck she's doing, but doing whatever you're supposed to do.
What were they doing?
I don't know, but that was just.
There was some sort of massage
Massage
technique
I
going
think it
on.
was witchcraft. That's what I think. So I have no idea what that was, but whatever they did was whatever you're supposed to do, apparently. So.
Well, and Trixie was on the ball, ready to go.
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah.
Hilda's like, whatever. There's some blood.
Measuring the
Yeah,
baby,
yeah.
placenta.
Exactly.
Okay, we're
She's
good.
Yeah,
distracted.
but and
No.
so Trixie catches it.
Yeah, she took over. Yeah, and that's when Hilda realizes, maybe I'm the second.
Maybe I'm not. As
But right, so
amazing.
as Flora,
Yes.
like the eyes rolling back in your head. Were you
yeah.
not yelling? Were you not
Yeah.
I
yelling
thought
at the
she was going to
television?
stroke out, and I was so
Yeah.
upset.
Yes,
I'm like,
yes.
do not die right now. No,
Yeah,
this
I
is
was
not
like,
happening.
No.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
the whole time I was worried about this.
Yeah.
Because I was just thinking they're new in the country. He's gonna be having to work now. He's got a child and another one, and he's gonna be this guy
Yep.
going, "Oh my God, how am I gonna do this?" And I
Yeah.
think that's it's like, no, don't.
Yeah. Not that new in the country. They've been there for a little while. They're just
Well,
new
they're
citizens.
citizens.
You're
But
right.
but yeah,
You're right.
but
Right.
yeah, but because he was talking about how the cold was really hard for him to
Yeah.
deal with.
Yeah.
But yeah, her watching her eyes roll back, I was like, no. So then Hilda, would you like to tell them the happy news?
Oh, wait.
Or do you want me to handle that? Trixie throws her some shade.
Just
Some very polite.
yeah,
shade.
exactly. Just,
Very
yeah, it was
polite.
fine. It
Very
was fine.
polite.
And then Hilda's reaction. She finally got it,
Yeah.
right?
Oh.
Oh, well, yeah,
Yeah.
that was a perfect reenactment. I hope the camera was on him when he said that, when he did that. Yeah, but he was. Oh, that was good.
But we had this great moment afterwards when they brought Matthew and what's his
Joel?
son? Joel, yeah. Matthew and Joel, and they brought in
This little jar of
Matthew's got
flowers.
jar of flowers.
Bush of flowers.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, is that allowed to be around?
So excited, exactly. And then later on, he talks about how the baby looks like a grumpy old man.
Yes, they all do.
Yes, exactly. That's about right. That's about right.
Yeah, but that's sweet. Just to revisit it, please. The sweet moment of Matthew rubbing his head and kissing the new baby.
Yeah, that was great.
God, that was sweet.
Thank you, Jeff.
Sound effects.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. All right. So then, of course, before that, we forgot to reference the fact that when Flora was realizing that she's going into labor, she tells Matthew, "Go get your father," and we have he runs and you're going, oh my, and all that time I'm going, oh my God, is Dad gonna stroke out?
Are they all gonna die?
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
the kid's about to pass out, mom's
Yeah.
about to die having the
I'm
baby.
going,
Like
oh
it
my
was
God.
way to
Yeah.
build the suspense. Call the midwife.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, geez. And then the word after the birth and everything, and the next scene when Joel is out on his rounds. That's what I thought for sure. Oh, he's having a heart attack, whatever he's having.
Right.
And when he shows up at home, and I'm still, even when he goes inside, I think, oh God, he just made it home just to say
the
goodbye.
agony that actor was
Yeah.
conveying too. His eyes were red and just, I mean,
he looked like he was really, and I didn't know sickle cell was that painful.
Physically
I didn't know
painful,
either.
I didn't know
It
that
is
part of it.
very.
So so I thought that was very effective for, and then of course, thankfully,
Dr. Turner shows up.
Then there's the whole, and he fixed it. Then there's the whole conversation about whether or not we should test you, and Dad's going,
No,
No,
I
we need
definitely
to
got
test.
this, boo.
I got it.
I'm
the
sure
thing.
of it. And
Yeah.
she's like, you didn't tell me.
Right, because a weak husband or a
Such
sick
a
husband is
a
no
sick
husband.
husband
Yeah.
is
Sick
no
husband is
husband
no
at all.
husband at all.
Absolutely. And I don't know how many times, I'm going, because I don't tell Tammy when I'm sick.
Like that's a very man thing to do.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just not
never
say
gonna-
anything.
Yeah.
So you're about to die.
That's right,
And then
that's
she'd
right.
be all taken aback and shocked, like, "Dang, I don't have a husband." Because that makes sense.
Yeah, because that's super helpful.
Well, let me be clear. I didn't say it makes sense. I'm just saying that's
It's a
what we
dude
do.
thing.
That's
It's a
right.
dude thing.
Yeah.
It
for
is a
sure.
dude thing.
Yeah.
So, but where are we in the story?
Little
Yeah,
sidetrack.
we-
So-
Talking
we
about
get
sickle
so-
cell. So
so
yeah,
they
so
test
They
Joel.
all have it.
They all have
unfortunately,
it.
'cause he,
Does you pass it down, mom and
So,
dad?
I'm just going, oh my God, which probably means
Baby girl.
that
too.
baby Elizabeth has it. So
Probably, yeah.
yeah. But thankfully, of course, we get the nice news that he's not going to get fired. They want to
They will give him another job.
Exactly.
That is very manageable.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Less stress,
Right.
strenuous rather, and time off for medical
And
visits.
I like the way they laid in the thing. He's well educated, and he obviously has a pride about that. And then he says he doesn't think he can get another job because
'Cause it
they don't
doesn't
care about my
matter.
qualifications when they see my
Exactly.
skin and all that other stuff. So I love the way they laid all that in, but thankfully they gave us almost a happy ending to that because there's a possibility that they're going to be fine.
yeah.
Possibility.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and the way it sort of hangs over her because her uncle
Yeah.
died young
Right.
from it.
Yeah.
And so what is that?
But I think because of the whole advancement, because
Yeah.
when Dr. Turner's looking at the books, then there's
He's
not a lot in the
done
British books.
nothing in
But they
there,
also
yeah.
made the point in the beginning of the show how medicine is changing. I made that point earlier
Yeah.
as well.
Yes.
So we hope that
It'll
something-
change fast enough to
exactly.
help
So-
them.
And we didn't do the homework on that either on how it changed. So I'll come back next week with a primer.
I feel like
on
some breakthroughs didn't happen for sickle cell till the 90s.
something like that.
Just because I remember a girl from TLC had it, and there was like a whole thing in the 90s about it. So yeah.
Yeah, pain management and antibiotics apparently have a lot to do with the treatment of it.
Right.
That much I know, but we'll talk more about it in the news.
Yes.
Shall we go on to
Yes,
Violet, who is
Vi.
a living expression of suffrage by her name being Violet?
Violet.
Oh, look at you.
I may have had
Look
some,
at
I may have had
that.
some help on that one.
Hi.
Oh, really? Nice.
Super.
Wow, that's great. Not her eyeshadow, though. That was...
No. Very special blue icy
Icy
eyeshadow.
frosty.
Yes.
I was like, oh, it's a 60. Okay.
she's so... I thought it was...
She was trying.
Yeah, but her excitement out of getting the
Yes.
news that she's, been selected and
Yeah.
everything that was reminiscent of, oh, goody.
Oh, goody, goody, the books and all of
the books
that,
and
yeah.
everything. Yeah, so... And then, of course, Fred, not on board.
I was
doesn't
actually
care.
really upset
No
at
one's
first. I was
close.
like, wait, Fred's always on board. And Fred is like the happy, jolly, great guy. Like,
Yeah.
why is he so nasty about it?
Yeah.
He was not
Yeah.
very positive, and I didn't get it.
Yeah, he doesn't like politicians. He
Fair
doesn't want his
enough.
wife to be a politician because all they do is... That's what he says.
Cause more problems.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said she should drive the ambulance or something instead, or volunteer.
Yeah, if you want to do some, There's them that this and them that do, I think is what he said. I think is how that's it, which I thought was hysterical. But because we how often do we see a tiff like they had there? I mean,
They had a full-on fight.
Yeah.
They really did. They really did.
First, like, unsupportive husbandry I've seen, really, from Fred. Like, he's usually so helpful and so forward and helping all the ladies.
which is why I think it was so shocking to her. And I like when she said, "All right, you've had a face." The entire time,
Your
not
face.
helping with anything. She has to force them to stay at the meeting when they're doing the meet and greet campaign thing or whatever it is. Yeah.
Well, he didn't want to stop his ambulance training either, so she could set up for her meeting. And I was like, "You're embarrassing her in front of everybody. Stop!"
Yeah.
I was really upset.
Yeah. And I like when he finally apologized, though, because he goes, "Look, don't even ask me to explain." And I was going, "Yeah, I don't know that he could." And I was wondering if if the writer's going, "Yeah, I don't really have a good answer for that, so I'm going to say this." Don't ask me to explain.
So Fred with the midwives.
Uh-oh.
When they were in their conversation, and he said, right? So he, again, in that room where they do their
They prep
equipment.
their bags, yeah.
Right. It's an awful lot of bother just to put an X in a box. The look on Val and Trixie's faces were my face.
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, indignant and Val, just like whatever it was she said was hilarious.
What's the big deal? We've had the vote forever.
That's that man privilege there. Rearing
Exactly.
its ugly head.
It was exactly that.
Yep.
Pretty much. That is the deal. But yeah, I mean, I have exclamation points and the faces.
But I love
of-
the way he mansplained it, too. I'm not saying they weren't brave.
I'm not saying they didn't have courage, those women who fought and were imprisoned and force-fed and nearly
exactly.
died. And some did die, for suffrage. No, I'm not saying they weren't courageous. It just seems like a lot of effort to put an X in a box. Hello, you don't get it.
You got his argument. You get Lucille saying, I don't think I've been here long enough.
haven't been here long enough to have a say.
Yeah.
And then all these other people were striving like crazy just for the opportunity to participate. Yeah. So, I thought they handled those two things because there are plenty of people that say that exact same
Right.
thing
I was gonna
today.
say, social commentary that hasn't
Exactly,
changed.
exactly.
Yep. That's why we.
So I don't even know who won though. When do we find that out?
Well, right. We don't know, do we?
No, because she was
true.
giving
We
a
just saw them
concession
all-
speech in case she needed to.
Yeah.
Right.
But I like that he came in and was like, Churchill wouldn't say
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
That's not how he
So
won
I
the
wonder,
war.
when is, because they voted, we just don't know what the outcome
who
is.
won.
Well,
Maybe next week?
maybe Fred's vote is going to change the entire thing.
I think
because
story
the whole thing
continues.
about the Communist Party.
Yes.
Yes.
I think that's what it took. That's what the kicker was. Trixie figured that out. Yeah, okay. Yeah, really? Sure. That's what you think? Yeah.
That's it.
What if it's the one vote and it's going to go to a communist? Oh,
Wait,
Okay,
what?
I'll go.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I'll go. Wait, I'm going to
Exactly.
vote. Yeah, I've been a right idiot. I'm proud of you.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty much the deal,
We're
Fred.
an idiot.
Yeah. So, yeah. He turns it around. Them walking. We're going to. Where are you going? Where's what are you doing? We're gonna go cast our ballots because you and Lucille felt like maybe you weren't ready for that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I have to say, one of the shots I loved the best was at the voting booths when Phyllis turns in her thing and she turns and there's the little girl.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And then you go, well, yeah, there you go.
That was smart.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It's wonderful.
I remember going to vote with my mom when I was a little tiny girl.
Oh, you went, okay, you didn't actually vote.
When I voted when I was
voted as a
6
6-year-old.
with my
You
mother.
remember that?
I do. I very much do. Yeah.
I remember being
Because I
stuck
don't
in
know
the
if this is
car.
how they. I think they just. What?
We weren't allowed to go in. We had to sit in the car.
But she at least drove you.
You know, one of the other things I remember is me asking my mom, "How did you vote?" Because I was just like, "Well, how did you vote?" She says, "Well, that was a private matter. I don't have to discuss that with anyone, even you, 5-year-old smart mouth."
Similar story.
Right?
Really?
Except my mom was not quite that nice about it. It's like, it's none of your business. Well, why? Like, aren't we supposed to talk about it? No, I guess not. It's a private
Okay.
matter.
It's none of your,
Yeah, it's none of your business.
it's private. It's none of your business. Got
Same
it.
thing.
Yeah.
Just different way of
So,
saying
all
it.
right,
Exactly.
All right. But yeah, so I mean, I'm anxious to find out.
Yeah.
Who knows what that's going to do?
Yeah.
The-
It's
If he's married to a politician, is that going to change things?
going to change things. It's the 60s. It's going to change things.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. So, do we need to get to yours?
Yeah. Let's talk about some news,
get to this
shall
news.
we? Some news.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jessica Raine is calling a midwife. The actress who played Jenny Lee on the show and left before we all thought she should, from 2012 to 2014, has confirmed she is expecting her first child with fellow actor Tom Goodman Hall.
Let me ask you this, and since she left before we thought she should, is she going to call a midwife for the first 2 trimesters and then leave the midwife for the 3rd trimester?
Sassy. John. Sassy. Jessica revealed the good news at a Q&A after a screening of her new series, Baptiste, and she mentioned that she filmed stunts while pregnant and was interested in most food while on the job.
Most food.
Like was hungry.
Yeah.
Yep, there they are, the happy
that's so
couple.
sweet.
Currently expecting their first child.
Most food, because I'm sure there are some foods.
Yeah,
That are,
probably
like,
not so interesting.
vomit-inducing.
But
yeah.
Call the Midwife acts as a public service announcement. Last night's show highlighted the, at the time, relatively unknown disease, sickle cell anemia. The show acted, as it has in the past, as a wonderful public service announcement. Nadine Eaton, the head of blood donation campaigns for the NHS, Blood and Transplant, said people with sickle cell disease have a much better outlook than in the 1960s, thanks to treatment with regular blood transfusions. But she added, we particularly need more Black people to donate blood. Most sickle cell patients are Black, and donors from the same ethnic background are likely to have matching blood. So, as it turns out, while the show aired on BBC last night between 8 and 9 p.m., 46% more people registered as new blood donors to give blood on that website than during the same hour the previous day. So, giant uptick.
That's huge. That's awesome.
Amazing, right?
Damn.
So if you do want to register in the UK, the website is www.blood.co.uk. And in the US, go to redcrossblood.org.
And quick additional tidbit, I've been doing my research on the history of sickle cell for Courtney in there. And hydroxyurea is the big breakthrough in the 90s that you were thinking of, Courtney. So,
I remember things.
yes, if you're diagnosed and your doctor hasn't mentioned it, hydroxyurea is one of the best pain management and actually prevention medicines you can take.
That is an incredible medication with amazing side effects.
And that is an incredible,
I have a friend who used to take it
and that
for
is
different
an
conditions.
incredible font of reference from Jeff in the booth.
Thank
there.
you, Jeff
Thank you, Jeff.
Graham.
You're so
You got it. You
quick,
guys are always
man.
educating me, so the little I can do makes me feel like I'm paying it back, you know?
You are paying it forward.
I will tweet out a link to this article that I read earlier today. It's from Time, talking about the difference between the term suffragist and suffragette.
Right.
And it has to do with, the root word of the root word suffrage. And then it initially was co-opted and added to by reporters in early 1900s during the early suffrage movement, adding "et" to demean women.
Yeah. So instead of calling them suffragists, he called them suffragettes.
Suffragettes.
To try to demean them
Yes.
and their cause.
Exactly.
Yes.
And in the UK, women decided, you know what?
They took it on.
We're going to take it on.
They
Yeah,
took the mantle
exactly.
and they said, fine, you want to run with that? We'll run with it.
too.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so in the U.S., there was a little more serious reaction to it, and the women wanting to be called suffragists. Also, if you're saying suffragist, you could be a man or a woman. But anyway, there's an interesting article about it in Time, and I will tweet that out if anybody wants to find it.
Okay.
And that is our news for today.
All right. That's it. Thanks very much, Tamara.
Awesome.
You're welcome.
46% increase. That's amazing.
Huge.
Right?
That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, it is great.
Makes a big difference. I just a couple of overall thoughts I wanted to say about the show. I loved the layers, and I know they do this a lot, where they add little Easter eggs of the wearing of the colors and comments about things. I particularly loved the connections that we talked about with past episodes and connecting characters and connecting the causes important to each person. I just thought it was a really beautifully written episode.
Well, I'll talk about just that. That you were just talking about how, because the dudes were from Ghana.
Right.
Called, Ghana now.
Ghana.
So, and there was also this talk about, they just came here and stuff, and the vote and everything. And I'm wondering how much Brexit is, because it's how much that's influencing what they're writing about.
Yeah. Right.
Interesting, and I would love to talk to the writers and creators about how much of that is
going to be reflected in.
Well, yeah, because you know some of it, they obviously not Brexit, but on other things, they certainly are speaking to that. And I'm just wondering how much in the room they're going, hey, let's talk about this. How do we reflect it? All that other stuff. And I'm just curious.
I know Doctor Who's been doing a lot of Brexit commentary this
Yeah.
season, so it's definitely, obviously, a hot button issue in Britain right now.
Yeah.
And also, you know, just as a parallel, Madam Secretary making commentary,
Sure, of course.
which is fictional America,
Yeah.
American politics, making a lot of not so
Very
veiled
no, not at
commentary
all. Very
on
specific.
current
Very
American politics. So, yeah, it's a really interesting way to stay engaged with the conversation.
I 100% agree. I mean, obviously, I watch it and it's amazing. Well, it makes me more curious about the racial politics of the time in England versus here, and how those things are still happening now, and how those are influenced, and how that influences how they write about these things, and what makes them choose. Even down to the idea that like there wasn't information about sickle cell in England because the population was changing.
Exactly.
And how that. It's just, they do a fantastic job. Obviously, they're brilliant people.
Because I'm specifically talking about the scene where Vi is talking to the nuns, and she's talking about her manifesto, so to speak.
Sure,
she's
right.
talking about she just wants to make this a community.
Community again.
And so all of us have an opportunity to prosper and all that kind of stuff. And I'm wondering if that's in reaction to the immigrant issue and whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was beautiful. I loved it. We didn't talk about that when we were talking about her. And it was really neat to see her like making choices and making declarations and enrolling people in her vision. I thought that was really beautiful.
I thought it was great though. Also, when they said Monica Joan, who votes for Vi, and the only person that doesn't vote is Lucille. It's like,
Might come up later.
all right, okay. Any other last thoughts before we get out of here?
One last thought.
Oh, yeah.
This is the shallow thought for the episode. Shout out to the costume designers. That cape that Miss Trixie wore to go vote in, it was plaid and tweed looking. Perhaps.
Yeah, like a houndstooth or something.
Yeah, something of that nature. It was fantastic. And standing next to the other girl in the red.
Lucille?
No,
Val?
the other
Val.
Yes,
Yeah.
standing next to Val as they walked out. So like for me, that shot it was kind of coming up at them, and they were walking out in these beautiful coats and coming out. They just looked like the power women walking out. To vote. I
Yes,
loved it.
and doing it with purpose. And Trixie was wearing a brooch that was green as well, so she was wearing her colors, perhaps as another little nod. Yeah.
They do a great job.
John, would you like to talk about the fashion?
Yeah, I thought the uniform that the cops wore was
Fabulous.
appropriate. That's all I got on that. But thank you for asking.
Yes,
All right.
absolutely.
Where can they find you, Courtney?
That really tickled me. I'm everywhere at Stuart Starlet.
You can find me at Tamara Berg on Twitter, Tamara A. Berg on Instagram.
And you can't find me anywhere. I'm a ghost. We'll talk to you next time. Thanks for joining us.
See you next time, everybody.
Founder Kevin Undergaro and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.